Get that recording started. And come on, Helen, you can make it. Hmm. Linda keeps going in and out. Okay, she should come back soon. Oh, there she is. Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, get some information, and see where we're at. I'm going to grab my calendar really quickly. Make sure I'm on the right day. There we go. Okay. Hey. All right. Let's go ahead and start with prayer. Um, if anybody wants to pray, you can always pray, but I'm always ready to do that as well. So think about it at the end of the class if you would like to. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start us. And oh, sorry, I keep yawning. Just woke up. Heavenly Father, we ask for your wisdom and understanding. We praise you. We open our minds to receive what is true. Help us to be diligent in our work. Help us be faithful in what is set before us. And let your word be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Let this all be for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, let's see. Um, it has been quite the long week, and it's been a good week, but a long week. So sleeping is a thing that is kind of lacking this week, but it's going to be a good day. Let's see. Pulling up my information here. I wish I had new buttons I could just push to make things show up. Alrighty. Mm, there we go. Okay, so this is week 6, and just a reminder, and I'll remind you again just so that I can keep saying it out loud so I can keep reminding myself. I will not be live next week. I will send out the notes ahead of time, um, but I will not be live. There will be a recording with a link on the website, and you can listen to it, or you don't have to. Like I said, the class the discussions that we talk about, like here for week 7, I'll email that ahead of time, and but then I'll be back in week 8. So we're just working on, excuse me, we're just working on more of the essays. So it's from last semester or last uh, class meetings from last year or session. I don't even know what we call them. They're 10-week periods. So I guess from the last period. Anyway, it'll be from November. Um, okay. So we have here, we're going to be talking about some research information, where to get some good, strong information, different places. Of course, anywhere that you want to look up information for your research or for your papers is good. Just make sure that they're valid, make sure that they're quality, and make sure that you can trust them, because not everything we see or hear on the internet is trustworthy. Yes, for sure. But here's some academic database type informational places you can go. As always, on the um, Fully Equipped Bible Institute website, there's resources you can go to. And I like that because they have made them free and useful. And sometimes I'll go looking for something and it's just, I get lost because there's so much good information about things other than I want to look up. I just get lost in the learning and the interesting facts. So if you're like that, just be careful because there's so much good stuff. And I know that it can be believed and trusted due to the fact that it has been vetted and looked peer reviewed and looked over. But that's I know that a lot of us don't have a lot of extra time, but if you do, that's a good place to go get some really good learning. And you have that available to you anytime while you're taking classes. It's a beautiful thing. If you download some books for class, there's also other books there that if you see that you might find interesting or helpful in the future, you could download those too and just keep those to read or look over. It's just a nice opportunity. Can you tell I like it a little bit? Okay, so with this one, though, it says the following are types of academic databases. open access databases, full text databases, and subject specific databases. Um, the open access databases, um, they're like the free for all shelves of the academic world. Um, there's you don't have to pay for it. There's no fuss. Anyone can read the articles. Just think like it's generosity in database form. The full text databases, um, these give you the entire article, not just the little teaser articles or summary. So if you need the whole thing for research, these are your go-to. That's the full text databases. And then the subject-specific databases, um, these stick to like one lane and they do it really well. Education, they specialize in education and psychology, medicine, business, whatever field you want. Um, there's a database that lives and breathes in it. It's just amazing. So there are different levels, and you just try to look up which one that you would like to know because sometimes we have time to read those big books and big articles, and sometimes we just want a little bit of information, and that's okay too, especially with a busy world that we're trying to get through and earn these degrees, and so that's good. Okay, the primary function of an academic database is to help users find valuable journal articles by using relevant keywords or a specific topic name. Because the primary function of the database is to help users locate high quality, credible journal articles by searching with relevant keywords. Um, Sometimes authors' names you could look up if you know what they are, or specific topic terms. And this can be tricky. Sometimes we can't find what we're looking for. Um, it just doesn't, it seems like we're putting in the right search in the search engine, but it doesn't come up with what you're looking for. And there are ways to um, refine that or get a better result from our searches. There's different ways to adjust the search engine. So hopefully I'll be able to go over that today. It's really nice when you're able to put the same words in but in a different way and it comes through with a better result. Let's see. Okay. The type of academic database that focuses on a particular field of study is the subject-specific databases. These are kind of funny um, questions and answers on the quiz because it's just kind of funny that it's a little bit obvious, and so I'm just going over them a little bit to maybe say it in different words, but it's because it focuses on one discipline and not multiple. It's just one at a time that you look up and provides highly relevant, credible sources that are directly related to that field. There's no wandering around. You look something up for medical and it's going to give you medical. Um, okay. Academic databases contain far more than just journal articles. And that's because academic databases, excuse me, um, also include books and dissertations, conference reports. reports from other things, reviews, other scholarly resources, and that all supports deeper, well-rounded research. So really, when you get in that mood, like I said, you can get lost and find all sorts of interesting information from different points of view, and um, that I, I I said it again. I'll say it again, but um, I get lost in those because I'm looking something up and I find something that's interesting. So then I want to read that, and then that makes me find something else interesting. And but I don't really necessarily always have the time to do that. So if you do, kudos, that's awesome. But if you don't, you might want to bookmark it or save where you found it and go back and just look at it. You might find something that you've been thinking about for something in your church or something in your life for your relative or something, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I want to read about that for my own self. And that's totally cool because there's all sorts of research abilities out there for you. Okay, let's see. We have the process. The process of peer review helps ensure the credibility of sources in academic databases. So that's because people in the field, like out there, like you and I are, um, carefully evaluate the research for accuracy and quality and validity before it's published. So when you are doing your peer review with a classmate or someone else, you are actually part of that credibility piece. You are making sure that what they have to say is, um, ethos, credibility, making sure that it's applicable and has a focus and is related to it. Because we don't want something out there that is just someone's opinion not rooted in truth. We need it to be strong and, um, oh, I thought I saw her pop on. Um, Strong and factual. Well, Helen might be on later, but I thought I saw her pop on. Okay, the main function of research methodology is to provide a structure path for researchers to follow. And that's because it ensures that the study is um, organized, it's systematic, and reliable. And always, if it's those, it leads to results that can be trusted and replicated. So if something can't be replicated or repeated again, it might not be true. It might not be, it might have just been a false um, positive. And so if something can be replicated in an experiment or in a study, you know that it's got to be true. Whether negative or positive, if it can be replicated, it's probably true. It's not just set up by chance. Ah, there's those words again, and I did not highlight them, but that's okay. Um, Three main types of research methodologies are qualitative, quantitative, and mixed. That's just, I don't know why. I think I'm kind of a strange person, but I find it funny. because there's qualitative, quantitative, and then there's a little bit of both, which I don't know, I have a weird sense of humor. Um, but qualitative, that explores ideas and experiences and meanings. It tells you the why and the how. Um, and quantitative with the N focuses on numbers, measurements. If you're into it, like statistical analysis, it tells you how much or how many, or like what's the relationship. And then I think quite obvious would be the mixed methods is combining of the best of both worlds. So, depending on how you wanted to write a certain essay or report for another class, you might do completely a qualitative one or a quantitative one, but a lot of people choose a mixed method of that because it just makes sure that you get a little bit of both, and it strengthens each one in its own unique way. So I like that one personally. Okay, we have a strength of mixed methods research is that it is particularly advantageous when a multifaceted understanding of a phenomenon is required. Wow, that is a lot of words. That basically means it combines like numerical data with um, like in-depth insights, giving research a more like complete and well-rounded picture than either method could provide alone. If we just talk about numbers, that's awesome. That's great. But if we want to tell about the how and the why, then mix a little bit of that in there, and it is so much clearer. It just makes it more able to be understood by so many more people. Some people have the gift of understanding um, statistics and numbers, and that is awesome. Some people want more of an explanation to go with it. So when you have both, it just it blends well. Okay. The factors that should be considered when choosing a research methodology are research question, nature of your study, and available resources. This is in preparation for your research paper at the very end of the class. And so it's just this whole thing that we're going over is just getting familiar with different ways of doing things, and um, your choice of research methodology can be important. Um, let's see, because those elements they determine which approach will um, best allow you to gather accurate, meaningful data and in a basically realistic and effective way. We can find facts about things online, but if you want it to blend well with your writing, um, it's easier to do it this way. So um, you'll look for research questions, the type of study, the nature of your study, and see what's out there. And then use your best judgment to see if it fits what you're researching. And when you think, just a little side note, when I'll just tell you a personal story because I don't know how every person thinks about it, but when I would hear the word research paper, I would think, "Oh my goodness, that is a big undertaking. That is a big job. It's going to be so hard. It's going to be a lot, and I'm so nervous. It's just going to take me months and months." No, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be huge. It's going to, with such short classes of 10 weeks, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to take months and months. It's going to give you an introduction, a little tidbit of how to do a research paper. So that when you do a longer research paper sometime, maybe, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I remember I'm to do this, I'm to look at these articles, I'm to um maybe look at into these kinds of databases. And it'll come back to you, even though it's going to be a smaller research paper, it'll come back and you'll be able to expand that knowledge that you have. This is just a little introduction to doing a research paper. So um, don't worry, no panic. We can still do this. And so that's my little thing. I used to worry about that a lot, and it's quite easy. Um, it's it was fun for me probably um, years ago. It was fun for me before I had um, family and obligations because my sole purpose was to go to school and learn. But now it's more interesting. I'm not writing formal research papers, but to be able to do my own research on something, whether it be in an academic type situation or research something I want to know more about in the Bible or from biblical scholars, it's amazing because now I know the direction that I need to go through. I need to know, um, I know better who I can trust, what kind of sources I can trust, and it makes me feel better like there's something a little bit more quality to it, not just me floundering around trying to find facts. So I'm hoping for the same for you to strengthen your abilities and find where to that you can go and find sources you can trust. Okay, anyway, that was a little side bonus there. Okay. The purpose of research methodology is to explore, to describe, and to explain. And because these three goals allow researchers to understand a topic in depth, uh, clarify what's happening, and identify the reasons behind it, leading to it leads to stronger and more meaningful conclusions. And um, gosh, that's not there's not another clear way to say that. The purpose of doing this is to explain. And when you are exploring around for your information, see the different ways that um, different researchers describe things. It's in a kind of a nerdy way. It's kind of fascinating um, to see different ways that people speak about sometimes the very same topic. It's um, it's a little thing that I have. I don't know. I'm maybe I'm a nerd. That's okay. I'm okay with that. It's fun. But anyway, here are your notes for when you take your quiz. I think on this one where it says three main types of research methodologies are, I can't remember exactly, but I think these three things are highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and make them bold because I forgot to do that. If it's not, the statement is correct. So, um, I think that's correct. Okay. Hopefully. Okay. So, aha, I did see you, Helen. Welcome.
Hey, Professor. Sorry for being late.
Oh, you're okay. I just
I'm
got
okay.
a little excited, because I, um, when I was going through school studying for my degree, I found out that I really enjoyed research. And so when I knew I was going to talk about research today, I got a little excited to start.
No worries. It's okay.
Like I was telling everybody, next week I will be absent, but I will send out next week seven's notes ahead of time, and you have the option to go on the fully equipped website, your class page, and click the link. It is a pre-recorded session from the same week, last November, and uh, it will go over all of the information that is for week seven. Just it might sound a little different. We might have been a little ahead or a little behind, but uh, that's not too important. Just make sure you get the notes and take the test and or the quiz. Um, Alrighty. So let me see if I can pull up what's next. Did you all enjoy your week? I talked to some of you.
It's pretty busy. Cannot
Yes.
say it's enjoyable or not. Just so occupied.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's been busy, busy. Busy, busy, and it's not good, it's not bad, it's just busy.
Yeah, and
Um,
to be honest, it's I still don't know what to write for my argumentative essay.
ah, yes. Yes, that is actually, excuse me, one of the harder ones um to find a topic for. Once you do though, it's going to come quickly. You'll figure it out quickly. Just don't stress, no stress. Um, Oops, sorry, I got a little bit distracted here. I'm pulling up some things to share with everyone. It's I'll work with you. It's gonna be okay. Planning and working. Okay. Okay. Um, on I'm trying to remember where this is. On week 6 talks about database workshop and research techniques. And it might say something on there about research proposal due. Not to worry about that till the other essays are in and finished because I don't want you thinking about one thing and it distracting from what you're supposed to be focusing on. So I'm not sure where I have some um I have some of the screenshots of your classroom printed out and I've written notes on it. And but I don't think I have that in um, in something to share on the screen. Sometimes I do, but yeah, this week we're gonna talk about all the database research and things, and we'll learn how to navigate all the credible sources. And I'm not sure where you came in, Helen, but when you start looking at sources for information, it's important to make sure that things are credible, that they are can be proven, and that they just they can be backed up with evidence. So, um, hmm, what else? When you read the book They Say, I Say, there's a bit in there about um, the book gives you like clear strategies for incorporating the evidence for your research paper in there effectively. And it gives some examples of academic writing and helping you understand how they're applied. Um, it's a good resource. It's you don't have to read it and digest it for any sort of other quiz, but it's a good resource. And look in the uh, contents or in the subject area to see which ones would talk about the research paper. It's a good idea to use that also. Um, you can definitely it can help you build a strong foundation in research and writing, and that will help you craft a really good research topic or proposal. But like I said, let's not worry about a proposal for a research topic yet. Just maybe keep it way in the back of your mind, thinking, what would I want to research about? Um, but let's get through the others first. Okay, I'm going to share, if I can, planning and organizing. Some of these things are specific to this week, as in um, research topics, but this also 100% can apply to your other types of articles, not articles, your other types of essays. Where did I get articles? Um, okay. Does anyone have any questions that's just burning in your mind about um, the narrative, analytical, argumentative essays that you want to talk about before I get a little bit more into a research topic kind of discussion? You can always email me. And I'm seeing that WhatsApp is kind of working. I'm still learning. It's not that hard. I don't know why I don't know, social media is just not my thing, but I'm working on it. Um, at the end of class, I will go over um, a little bit about what's due and everything. All right. Okay, so let's talk about effective research. We have some information here that I'm is good. When um, we talked about it earlier, we used qualitative, quantitative, mixed, and a mix of both of those. And it's a more well, I can talk, a more well-rounded um, paper or research essay when you use a little bit of both, when you mix them. So the hows and the whys, as long as or along with the um, facts and the technical parts. But yes, well, defining a clear topic, planning, collecting and organizing your data, that all has to do before you start your writing. Um, Saving those places that you find that information. You might find a ton of information all on the same thing. Choose wisely. Choose the best ones you think would fit your particular topic. Because Helen, we were talking about how sometimes you can find interesting stuff and that'll lead you to another interesting article and that'll lead you to another interesting research project and it just goes on and you could get totally lost in that. And that's typically what I do. And so when I am researching or looking something up, I've got to keep it focused. Sometimes I have to write down what in a silly way I've got to write down what is my focus so I can keep looking at it again and saying, that's right, I'll come back to this and read this for fun later. But it's good to keep it written down what your focus of what you're doing is. And hopefully it helps manage your time. Sometimes I just, like I told them, I'm a little bit of a nerd in that way. I love learning. Um, And yes, always remember where you found your information because you'll need to cite them for your research project. You'll need to do the references pages. Sometimes I call it a bibliography. I'm not really sure why, because that comes at the end too, but for a different reason. Um, but the reference pages, and I've seen a few of you add some reference pages. Beautiful. Um, all things come in time. So if you are working on that and trying to figure out how to do that, that's awesome. That's what this class is for. This class is not to knock you down because you don't know something yet. It's to help you so that in future classes, you'll be just nailing it. You'll be getting everything all correct. You'll be on the right track. Um, I just want to encourage you that each one of you are doing wonderfully. Sometimes I know personally, I don't feel like when I'm taking a class that I'm doing something correctly, but I can guarantee you that each one of you are doing wonderfully and you're just right where you're supposed to be. Um, okay, so when you are talking about a research project, you want to plan. Doesn't mean you have to sit down for an hour and sketch it all out at once, but you do need to define a topic. You need to do something that you're research on something that you're interested in because it makes it so much easier. Um, Sometimes narrowing it down is hard. Let's say you want to do a study of the book of Psalms. That is a wonderful idea. That is noble, but that would take a real in-depth study of that research project would take forever. And so maybe, for example, you might do a verse or just a chapter. So, in other words, if you're doing it on, let's say, the the loss of crops during a certain time of year and how that affects the selling and the buying, you might want to just talk about one type of crop. You might want to not talk about all the different kinds that it affects and how it affects all the sellers. You might just want to talk about how it affects the growers. Just there's so much that we could talk about with certain topics. Just narrow it down, see if you can write about something small because that's what this is for. It's an introduction to writing a research paper. Later in life, if you go on and choose a more scholarly type class that wants you to do a bigger research paper, feel free to choose the big topics and go dive down that hole and enjoy the research. But for now, we're just going to do a little bit. And it says plan your methodology, select appropriate research methods. Um, it talks about surveys. I wouldn't do a survey. I would just read about surveys, um, and experiments and interviews. Um, just read about them if you find them, and if anything fits for your paper, that would be great. If it doesn't, you don't need those. Manage your time in this crazy busy world with family and businesses that we need to keep up and obligations and making time for Bible study and all of it. Manage your time. Do not let something that is don't let this trump uh your your obligations. Family first. And so if you're studying, do this a little bit at a time, you know. Like it says, set deadlines, create a to-do list, start early. Uh, but if something gets in the way, that's family, take care of family. This deadlines can be moved, but that is always my train of thought is family first, and this can be adjusted. All right, take good notes. So important. I used to think that I could remember everything, and then I tried, and it did not work. I would forget everything. Again, crazy busy life. Didn't realize that life can be that crazy until I had a family. And so I write everything down now. I write it down in my personal life. I write it down if I'm studying something. It's okay. Um, take notes. Bookmark in your device. Bookmark where you found things. At least it'll be closer to if you're trying to write down in your references where you found a certain fact, it'll be closer than not knowing where you found it at all. And as far as using a citation manager to keep track of your sources, um, I'm not sure exactly how to do that or where to find a quote unquote citation manager. If you can figure that out, please let me know. But usually, what I do, my manager, is taking a piece of paper and something to write with and writing it down, um, just so I don't forget where I found things. Um, Now I'm going to give you some information that is can be used for this small research paper. It can also be remembered for if you ever have to do a larger research paper. But if you ever have to use surveys and questionnaires, they can be very valuable. If you were doing an in-depth research paper and you wanted to survey all the people in your congregation, that is a wonderful undertaking. It's kind of fun because it's your own unique information gathering. It can be daunting. It can be a big job, but it's fun to say, this is what I researched. This is the end result. These are my facts. So you can do surveys and questionnaires. It just puts a little bit more of a personal touch in there. Interviews. I've had one student do a few interviews, but they knew who exactly they were going to interview. They already knew that they were experts and they didn't have to verify that they were knowledgeable because, well, it was their pastor and the pastor's wife, and so they were knowledgeable. Um, but they did interviews and they included that. And when they put it in the reference page, it was kind of nice because it was different. It was different than a book or an article. Um, and it had their like when they interviewed them and the date and all that. And I thought that was interesting. It was very unique how they put that in there. Focus groups, not too familiar with. Um, that would just be something you would find in a research article. I would pick the information out of that. I wouldn't find a focus group. But if you wanted to get a doctorate um, kind of degree, that might be something that you could form, but that's not something that you need to do right now. Experiments. Um, if you were doing, I don't know, like a scientific kind of experiment, this would be fun to include in a report or a research report. But the type of research reports that we're going to do, I don't think it's going to be scientific. Although that would be fun to blow stuff up, but I don't think that's what we're going to be talking about. Um, Observations. Observe specific behaviors in structured settings, often used in quantitative research. That's again for like if you're trying to do a more scientific research and for a higher degree, that is a lot of work. Um, there's a certain way to document it. We will not be needing to do that. Um, it's ours is just going to be basically looking up um, supporting information that supports what we want to research. So all this is good and it's wonderful and useful. We just won't be needing to, let me see, to do all of these experiments and observations and focus groups and interviews. That's a bit much. But I'm letting you know that, that's part of research. Um, Document analysis. That is a fancy way of saying, let me read this article and let me figure it out. Review existing documents, reports, or literature to find evidence to support your research. That's the only thing that you're going to be doing, really, is you're going to be finding the information, reading it, and seeing how maybe it fits in your research paper or not. Um, okay, so evaluate your sources, find good ones. Says use a checklist, but you know credibility, accuracy, authority, logic. Analyze your data, read it, make sure that it fits with your quantitative and qualitative purposes, cite your sources. I can't stress that to you enough. If you want to use something in your paper, just jot it down. Where did you find it? Was it on the internet? Was it in a book? Was it on the internet in an article? Just write down where you found it, and I will help you try to format it to make it look like it's supposed to on your last page of your paper. But just remember where you found it. So, as much detail as you can, like the website or the title of maybe the article, what page you found it in an online book. Just make sure that you remember or write it down because I don't remember very well. And refine and present your findings. That is a fancy way of saying turn in your research paper. Um, it's just, it's so much fun once you figure out, oh, this is what I want to do. And now I've written it and look, it makes sense. Um, you're going to do more than just present like ideas. You're going to get it in your head. You're going to turn it around and um, you're going to maybe apply it to something that you've been questioning or want to share. It's just, it's a neat thing. Once your research paper is done, it's like, oh, I did that. I found information. I researched this. This is neat. It's not supposed to be something that you find that nobody else in the world has studied. It's supposed to be um your how do you explain it? Findings. It's your research. It's your findings on something that you've been curious about or you've wanted to know. So, if I wanted to know all about nuclear atoms, that might be a bit much to learn about. Maybe I'd want to do it just on atoms. And then I learn all about atoms and how they fit in my current world and what atoms can do and what atoms make up. And I don't know. It's just a weird example. But I think once you understand that the research paper is not scary, it's not going to be this big task that's ugly. I think you might find that you like it. Maybe that might be a bit much to say that you like it, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to get something else here. Um, close that. Hmm. Have them all listed on my desktop. I just have to bring them up in a certain order. Yes. Um, mm, there's, all right. Okay. Let's see if this will be helpful. We've gone over, got some things in the way here. We've gone over. If ever something is too small for you to see, please let me know because I can blow it up. Um, I've had students on telephones before, and then I shrink something down like really small, and they're like, nah, nah, I can't see that. So always let me know because I can make it big or small. I just have to move some windows out of the way. Okay. What are various methods used in academic research? We have gone over some of these, but some of them, I want you to hear the terms, um, not necessarily to learn them for a quiz or a test, just to hear them and get familiar with them. Because when you do some of your research, you might see these terms, and you can go back and say, "Oh, what was that about?" Or, "No, oh yes, I was told I don't need to worry about that." Um, but then you might find yourself going, "Oh, maybe I should do that." So this is just informational purposes. What are the various methods used in academic research? Um, We've, I told you about quantitative research. It's more numbers. Qualitative, the how and the why, more human, not just numbers, more human understandings. Empirical research, that one it's says it's based on observations, interviews, and experiments. That's if you wanted to like interview someone. Like I said, someone interviewed their pastor and the pastor's wife, and that was, I like that. That was pretty neat. Um, Historical research, much of the things that we will read will be historical research because it was done in the past. Um, Documentary research, that's especially where you're going to be going. You're going to find information in the online databases. If you have printed books, you could look at those things. All sorts of places to find research information. Experimental research, that's if you do your own experiments. And if you do, I would love to see that because that would be fun. Um, Conceptual research, that's a hard one. Um, that one is all about theories, and um, it's that's definitely scientific based because you have a concept and you're trying to prove what it's talking about, and sometimes it's very, very hard. So I leave that up to the actual scientists. Um, Comparative research just compares different things. Analytical research, research based on the analysis of data and information. Um, and then since I will be sending this to you, it's got some more in-depth information. So no worries about that. It's just a lot of information. I just wanted you to hear some of these different types of research. We're going to be very limited on time for ours, so mostly it will be, you know, research that you can find right away, that you don't need to go out there and recreate some sort of experiment. Okay. Effective research techniques. Let's see. Oh, yes, this is important. But now I have to get it up on the screen. Research techniques. Come on, you can do it. I talk to my computer sometimes. It's weird. Okay. Okay. So let's say that it's time to start working on your research project. And you sit down with your device and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm going to do this. You even need to um, think before you sit down to your computer, what do I want to do a research paper on? What in my life do I want to know more about, or what do I want to share about that I know? And so, yes, number one, start with a clear purpose. If you just go out there and go on the fully equipped uh, website and start looking at things, you'll find tons of things you could use for your research. But maybe just ask yourself locally, what do I want to learn about? What do I want to share? And so, what am I trying to find out before you even type one word in the search bar? What am I trying to find out? What do I want to do? Um, and so start with a clear purpose. Um, yep, that's funny. For example, instead of I want to learn about stress, try I want to know what evidence-based strategies reduce stress for adults. Or how can I get rid of my stress? And then start learning, start reading articles, formal articles, evidence-based articles, not the internet, go outside and work out in the sun kind of articles, real ones. Um, you might come across something that you think is a wonderful topic. And I think I said this before, just break it into smaller parts. You might find that that helps you focus in on something that is much easier. Um, let's say your topic is communication. That's huge. That's wonderful topic. Instead, think smaller. Communication barriers at work, how tone affects communication, communication styles in different cultures. Um, well, sometimes when you do the research, it will help you to narrow it down. Some topics are just so big. Um, don't tackle that yet. That's for later on in your schooling. Tackle small ones now. Um, just a moment. Oops, my screen sharing is paused. Oops, I bumped it and one moment. Okay, let me reshare the paper. There we go. I don't know what happened. I bumped it or something. Okay, yes, smaller topics. Okay, use smart search strategies. Google. Google is great to start with. Um, tricks. When you put something, let's say in quotes, so um, you put something in quotes, like this one says, quote, investing in stocks, not socks. That will come up with a better result than if you took the quotation marks off, because Google will break up these three words and they will give you so much extra information that you don't need. So when you put those quotes in there, it will come up with more exact, more appropriate results. For example, if you want an exact phrase like positive reinforcement strategies, um, you would put those quotes around it. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. Okay. If you do not want to hear about something, you can put a minus sign. For example, if you want to remove dolphins, but I mean, if you want to learn about dolphins, but um, you don't want to hear about the American Football League, the Dolphins football team, you would write a little minus sign and then football. So now your results will talk about actual dolphin animals instead of the Dolphins football team. And I remember when I learned about this, that was an eye opener for me because I could now make Google keep all those things I didn't want to see out of my search. It was amazing. And maybe I'm simple that way, but I really appreciated that. Um, Use precise keywords, and this can go for any essays, all these hints and tips. Instead of help for stress, if you're looking something up, try um, different words, evidence-based or like proven stress management strategies with quotates around it, quotation marks around it. Quotates, oh my goodness. It sure does help. Um, Help for stress might come up with that there. Help for stress might come up with some um, cartoons or memes or other things that don't really belong in professional writing, but evidence-based stress management strategies that could work. What you could do to get some of those precise keywords is type in help for stress. And then you'll see the way that other people write down um, things in a more professional way, and then use their idea. I don't know if that makes sense, but um, it helps using better words. These little changes sharpen your results instantly. That's so true. Okay, this is good. Look for credible sources in all of your essay writing. Not everything online is worth trusting. And I know that we're all adults, but I still get tricked once in a while because, yes, some sites have fantastic information, and some look like they were written by someone's uncle who had a long night. Things that you need to look for: websites ending in, where's my mouse? Dot edu, dot gov, or dot org. And the reason for that, nope. Wow, it just spun on me. Sorry. The reason for that is um, that is more, um, there we go. That is more vetted. It is more likely to be checked through, peer reviewed, official. You want to have something that isn't just what somebody wrote online, especially Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not the best resource. It can be something you can look at, but Wikipedia anybody can add to. And so um, if you have something with an .edu, .gov, or .org, or some other formal ending for a website, those are going to be a lot better. Something that does not have a name on it, you can't find a name of who wrote it, that's questionable. Um, Peer-reviewed journals are always good, and like I said, where you can find those. Um, reputable news outlets. When you do news outlets, though, be careful because you know how every place has news article or news reports that go to one side of the thought process and another news place goes to another and they are clashing. Try to get ones that are fair and try to report both sides. That's really hard though. Ones that you trust, ones that will go along with what your research is about would be best. Um, okay, so if there's no author, that's a big sign. Don't use that kind of thing for your references or reference pages. Um, if something sounds super dramatic or emotional wording, probably not good for a formal research paper. um, that just, you know, they don't want to hear about some of the things that they talk about. Okay, if your article has lots of ads in it, or pop-ups, and it's getting in the way of you reading, that is a sign that they're trying to get people to come to their website, read a little bit, maybe get caught on an ad, buy something. It's just a little too busy. Real research ads and such, they don't need all that. Their stuff stands on its own. They don't need to have gimmicks. Um, and probably you've heard about claims that sound too good to be true. That's true in articles too. If something says that they can completely solve something, I would question that just to make sure that it's correct. Um, if something says that they can completely wipe out starvation across the earth, I might think that, that's probably too good to be true. Would it be wonderful? Absolutely. Would it be true? I don't think so. So make sure to use your judgment. Um, and if it promises a miracle cure, run. That's just a funny one to put in there. Nothing can do that but Jesus. So if it's in the world, run. If it's Jesus, stick by. Okay. This this is um a fun one. Okay. It says use the CRAAP test. Yes, it's really called that, and yes, it works. I can't say that, so I am going to say it as it is phonetically supposed to be called, and I will call it the crepe test because there's two A's, and one A tells me to use the other A as a long A. So it's the crepe test. um, and it really does work. Um, with your articles, excuse me, when you're looking them up, think C, currency. Is it recent? We don't want to use anything probably young or older than um, 10 years, maybe, unless it's appropriate to. Obviously, if somebody said something 2,000 years ago and it's still appropriate today, we will use that. But the articles written should be current. The R, relevance, does it actually answer your question? So if you're studying and you're finding information for any of your essays, does it answer the question that I have? Um, A, authority? Is the author or organization qualified? If you can look up and see who this person is and that they work for the company that knows all the facts about such and such, yeah, they probably have authority. But if you have no idea who this person is and they have no other qualifications, it might be okay, but is there a better um, piece of information that has good authority? The other A, does it provide evidence and facts? Does the article or news piece or research writing provide evidence and facts? Hopefully, because then it'll be great to use them in your paper, not just thoughts and wishes. You need to have some evidence and facts. That'll be a good test. And P for purpose. Is it trying to inform, sell, persuade, entertain? Depends on what kind of writing, what kind of essay you're needing to use it for. And so, yes, you get the idea. Okay, we talked about notes. They give you ideas, bullet points, Cornell notes, charts. I don't know what Cornell notes are. There's something some people use. Um, Take them however you want to take them, just so long as you can understand them. If you have little pieces of paper and you want to write down facts on your pieces of paper and then move them around and shuffle them around, that's fine. If you want to type up something on your computer and then cut and paste them into the order that you want, that's beautiful. Everybody has their own particular way of being able to um, organize thoughts and um, maybe you're writing down your thoughts and finding facts and um, then you come back to it later and you like, oh, this really belongs up here. So draw an arrow. It really there is no one way to organize your thoughts. It's just however you work best. And that also can be used for any of the essays that you are working on. Um, yes, digital tools, write down your own words, explain it. Okay. And I think I told you about keeping track of your sources for all of your essays. Um, Record the website name, like exactly, even if it's got a lot of different letters or numbers, try your best to write them down. Um, the article title, the author, the date. Um, yeah, do it immediately so you don't have to guess later. If you wanted, instead of writing it down, you could just highlight, copy, paste into another document. That way you'll have it exact because I always seem to skip a letter or skip a number. That's not fun. But just not to worry because I'm not going to go highlight it and cut and paste in my browser and check it out. I'll trust you. Um, Basically, I think we talked about this. Compare multiple sources. Get some lots of good get lots of good information and make sure it's relevant. Watch for bias, um, including your own. Just pay attention. What's the goal? Who benefits from me believing this? Am I making assumptions? Um, and you all, from your writing and from talking, you all seem to be very intelligent people. So I'm I'm very proud of you for that. Don't let people try to pull stuff over on you. That is just, oh, that's my pet peeve when people do that. Um, Ask follow-up questions after you're done. Are there any other things, any other um ways that people can disagree with me? What could be another perspective? What could somebody think about this if they read it? Maybe they would think this. So you try to go through and get the answers. Um, Turn your research into a clear message. Yep, check for accuracy. Um, Obviously, when you're going through it, you're looking for your writing, but also you're looking for anyone that listens to you. Make sure that they understand your. Well, I can't understand me. Um, Make sure that they can understand what you're trying to put across. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is a small research paper. We'll be talking about some more, but it's just to get the skill. Okay, just not to make you panic, not to make you work super hard, just to get the skill of research. And I have a feeling that there's a few of you that know how to do this already. All right, let me see what the other last thing was. Be careful of AI. I wanted to mention that. It's becoming more and more tricky. Um, you can't trust what you see sometimes, so just um, be careful about that. Now, I had this, I think I pulled this up the other day, not the other day, like 3, 4 weeks ago. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to pull up my screen. Maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, in fact. It's just the proofreading marks that I shared. Ooh, they just keep bouncing. Um, if I return something and it's got proofreading marks, these are the ones. Um, they're very easy. I will send this again if you would like, just to show you if I get to the part of grading that is more refining, not just reading as a whole, as a paper, as like when I read and I take the whole thing in, which is what I've been doing, and getting the thoughts and ideas down and thinking about those. That's a general comment about the writing, but then there's a point at which it could be in this class, could be in the next class, where it's more refining, where it would be editing the grammar and the punctuation and the format. So this is a good one. There are other ones, marks and meanings, but this is the one that I use. So if you ever see me use a certain symbol, go over here on the left. This is kind of what it means, and it's not too hard. I don't do that very often, but sometimes I'll talk about formatting on the sides, and not to overwhelm you, but so that when you take more classes with any college, any classes, you'll be able to see why we do what we do with the maybe the margins, with the reference page, and why we have the cover page as it is. So that's just more of a technical kind of thing, but it makes it look standard across across the way. So I think I sent that to you. I'm not sure. Okay, I closed the window. It's telling me I closed the window before I stopped sharing. Apologize. Okay, so we have The week 6. Okay. So the way it goes is um week 6 final analytical essay is due. That um okay, you have another week, by the way. If you need information, if you need some hints, tips, if you need assistance, I will be available for that. Please email me. We can discuss back and forth. If you can figure out WhatsApp and help me to, I've had conversations with a few students in this class, no, in the other class as well, and I'm able to make it work. We can have back and forth conversations like chat. Um, if you have questions on this, whatever essay that you are working on, um, please let me help you. I would love to help you. Um, in okay, so that's the analytical essay is due at the end of this week. So next Friday. And then we have, no, did I say analytical? Yes, I did. Okay. The argumentative essay, um, that is due a long time from now. So we don't need to worry about that right now. And the research paper is due even longer. Um, but it doesn't seem like it because we're on week 6. So, um, there's not a lot to do, but I don't want it to seem overwhelming either. So please communicate with me if you have any questions. I'm here for you. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying what some teachers have said before. I'm here for you. I really am. This is, I don't do this for my main job. I do this because I want to, and I want to help you reach your goals, and because I love you. And so I want to do this for you. Please let me help you. Um, and that's all that we have for today. I am wishing you the rest of your afternoon, evening to be restful or productive, whichever one you are wanting to focus on. Um, and your tomorrow to be beautiful. Um, and for your week to be enjoyable. Find something for you. Find something that you can do to help yourself focus on what is truly the purpose, what is truly um, important. And we know what that is. Okay. So don't lose your focus. Don't ever, don't ever put this stuff ahead of your family, um, because, or ahead of God, because He's always first. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. So anyway, um, does anybody want to pray, or would you like me to do that? Okay, I can do that. Um, Heavenly Father, thank you for what we've learned today. Let your word not return void, but accomplish what you've purposed. Bless what has been planted today and help us to understand that each one of us has our own strength, and each one of us needs strength for what lies ahead. Establish the work of our hands, keep us steadfast, focused, and faithful. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right.
I
Thank you for
really like
listening.
talking to you guys. You guys just, I mean, all I do is talk, but I just like, I don't know, encourage you. I know you can do this, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future. So, very cool. Yes, definitely. Um, Blessings to everyone, and I will talk to you soon.
All
Thank you,
right.
Thank
everyone.
you, Professor.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much, Professor.
Enjoy
Yeah,
your weekend.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.